Hello and welcome to another session for the Global Maths and Science lesson. It's been an exciting day so far. We've got over 6,000 learners registered that we know of. There's been a lot of links going out there that didn't have the registration links, so goodness knows how many are actually participating. We've been to Spain, South Africa. I have, like, virtually. And I was about to be in Wales, but unfortunately, my friend Ziggy is not well. I was really looking forward to doing a session with Ziggy because he's a teenager and he's a hero of mine. He's one of my heroes. He's got the greatest attitude, and I was looking forward to playing a few games with him. And wasn't to be. He's not well. So lots of love to you, Ziggy. And I'm just going to go ahead and lead you through a few, or guide you through a few of the activities, well, the essence of the lesson. So today is Global Maths and Science Lesson Day. Today, thousands of children all over the world are participating, doing the same 30-minute lesson anytime they want to during the day, different times of day. It's not today anymore in New Zealand, for example. It's tomorrow already. And so I think they will be fast asleep, hopefully, in New Zealand, about 2 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to, for those learners in America and the United States and in the South America, in the whole American continent, they'll be at school at the moment. And so this is for anybody that's watching. And I will start with, if you want to participate, by the way, let me just put the banner going on that. If you want to actually get a certificate of participation, the link going across the bottom is your link. It's also in the description, where it is depends on what social media platform you're on. And if you participate, you must actually do the lesson. Send us a picture of you doing the lesson or the lesson itself happening. And we don't need the faces. It's great if we have them, but obviously not essential, not necessary. And also you fill in a form with the actual numbers of people that participated, a final submission form. So this one is today, and then there'll be, at the end of today, there'll be a different form for final numbers. If someone misses the registration, they can still submit the numbers, and you'll still get your certificate of participation if you send us the picture of what you did. So here we go. Let's see. I need to remember to stop the green screen, because I'm going to show you what happens if I don't stop the green screen. Actually, it's quite fun. Let me show you what happens if I don't stop the green screen. Here we go. So my hand goes in here, and if I put something yellow or green on, it's even better. Let me find something that's yellow or green. It's kind of fun. I think, is it green or blue? I'm pretty sure something yellow the other day did it. Yes, look. Yay. And that's the backdrop, the virtual screen. What happens if I do it blue? Blue's not as good. Well, it's a little bit. Anyway, so I've got kind of translucent fingers there. So let me turn that off so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And bring that down a little bit for this particular activity, and then I'll raise it up again in a minute. So the first activity, what you download from the link, there's the whole lesson, it's a 30-minute lesson. First activity is you cut up these strips of fractions and you have to sort them. So you can do this as a competition. You can see who can sort it fastest, and then of course you've got to double check that it is in the right order, because if someone calls out that they've done it and it's not actually all in the correct order, then they don't get the point or the prize or whatever it is. Right, I'll have to get that later. Oh dear. Oh, I know, press this button here. There you go. And make that silent. It won't go silent. Never mind. And so the great thing with this is it's a great way of introducing fractions to young learners. Because even if they don't know what fractions are, never heard of a fraction, and of course, at every point in every person has never heard of a fraction when they're only little, and they learn as they go. But everyone can, once you reach a certain attainment level, you can tell the difference in that's a very long rectangle, a very long line. This one has got 2, this one has got 3, and these are shorter than these. So once you reach a certain age, say by the age of 3, but of course you've got to be interested, so you can't, it's not something you're going to be able to force a child to do, but if you can put it to them, it's something you can play and just have it as a game, which I have duplicates, as you can see, so I'm not allowed to use the duplicates. They can enjoy playing the game, and every time they play the game, they'll learn a little more. And young learners probably will get it in the wrong order, but it doesn't matter as long as they enjoy playing the game. And then slowly but surely, as time progresses and experience increases, they'll be able to actually sort them correctly. And the other beautiful thing is that they will effectively subliminally learn about fractions. Are all of these repeats? That's half. We've got that one, and that's 1. Okay, so I'm missing a strip, but you get the idea. And if you do it, especially if you do it in pairs, or if you do it as a whole class or a whole group, you can compete to see who gets there first, and you can have a little prize if you like, or just be the winner, or get a point, or whatever it is. Now, next step from here is there's lots of different fraction walls, and you can just ask, okay, using a ruler, and this is the beauty of fraction walls, using a ruler, you can establish whether there's more than one place that coincides with that line. So you've got 2 halves, you've got 4 quarters, you've got 3 sixths, you've got 4 eighths, and you've got 5 tenths, and you've got 6 twelfths. Well, I'm saying that to you, but the great thing is you can do this. It can be a discovery for young learners. Obviously, the young ones, that will be too much for, but for different ages. And there's lots of little activities you can do with that. Oh, one thing I do like to do with young learners also is use food. So this cake's cut in thirds, more or less. And as my friend Steve just said in the last session, if you want 2 children to share something equally, or even 3, you can, one of them gets to cut it, and the other one gets to choose the piece. So the person cutting it will be super careful to halve it exactly or in thirds, because they want to get the maximum. Even if you've got 3 children, if they cut exactly in thirds, then everyone will get an equal amount, and the last person will get a smaller amount, almost guaranteed, if they cut one slice smaller than the others. So it encourages focus on fractions. And also for young learners, young children, it's like, okay, 1 for you, 1 for me. Wait, let's use this one as an even better example. That one's for you, and that one's for me. Oh, no, it's not. Yours is bigger than mine. You can have a lovely little mathematical conversation about bigger and smaller, and half and half and equal amounts. The next section of the Global Maths and Science lesson is, I've raised this up a little bit, I think this one goes the other way, fraction wall, and this is in sixths. And the way it works is a game. Play 2 people, or you can play it in teams, or it is 2 people, or if everyone has their own dice, and their own chart or their own dice, then everyone can play it and see who gets the highest value fraction. So that could be fine as a group, and whoever gets the highest, or if multiple people get the highest, then they all get 1 point. But let's see the simple game. The simple game is the lower number goes on top, the higher number goes underneath. Well, this is 1/2, 1/2. So as I was saying earlier, the younger learners don't actually have to know what fractions are. They just know there's 1, and it's section 2. So this is 1. Look for the line that has 2 slots in it, and that's this one. And then you only go 1 along. So there's 1 along, and that's your spot. It's half. It's basically halfway. Halfway is a half, strangely enough. This is all, now for older learners, it's still great practice. It's helpful for getting fluency and deepening understanding. Whoa, the second person gets 5/6. So where's that? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5/6 there. And this is the lowest number, the lowest value, and this is the highest value, because this is 0 and this is 1, and you can see the unit one there. That is 1 unit, and everything else is a fraction of 1. So if that's the highest and that's the lowest, then who's further along? It's 5/6 is furthest along, so 5/6 gets the point. And you continue like that. You can increase the size of the fraction wall. You don't have to be limited to 6. So you can even start with 1, 2, and 3. You don't have to go, or keep the 1, 2, 4, and 5, something like that. You don't have to do even all the numbers. There are lots and lots of fraction walls on the page that's in the description that you can download. Lots of fraction walls of different sizes. This one is 12. Now, two things I like about this one. This one can be coloured in, and with these as well, you want to get the learners to write in basically how many segments are there on each, and so this would be 1, 1/2, 3, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, and the same along here. And this one too, with young learners, you can look at how many are equivalent. So the half is, there's also a line for then, that's 2/4, and there's also 3/6, and they're all equivalent. And are there any other equivalents there? Let's see, is there an equivalent to 1/6? No. 1/5? No. 1/4? No. 1/4? What about 1/3? Well, 1/3 does have an equivalent. It's 2/6. And even if it's not something that you know intellectually initially, it's great to start getting familiar with it. And when you do know it intellectually, it's great to increase fluency on it. And it's a nice game. And this one goes all the way up to 12ths. And again, you can look for equivalents. So what 1/2, you got all bunch of them. And interestingly, it's every other one has a 1/2 equivalent. You've got 1/3 equivalents, 2/3 equivalents. You've got 3/5 equivalents. You've got all kinds of equivalents here. And it's, again, you can record them and make notes in whatever way you want with this one. And this exists all nice and coloured in that you can download. Another one, this is for older learners, and this might be a really good one for Ziggy as well, is with algebra. Now, algebra can have a bit of a bad rap, but this is a game. Now, the first thing you want to do with this one, well, you can play the game, just play the game, but to familiarize yourself a little bit with it and to get to start to understand how it works, is just make x equals 1. So you're replacing x with a number. So you're no longer calling it x. Everywhere you see x, you'll have a number 1. So what happens if you replace all of these expressions, the x in all of these expressions, with 1? Well, level 1, it's 1/1, it's 1. Level 2 is 3 plus 1. Sorry, 2 divided by 3 plus 1. So that's 2 over 4, which is, oh my goodness, a half. I wonder what this will be, and this will be, and this will be. And so have a guess at what they might be, and then work them out. And the game is quite fun. And this is again on the same link. You'll find this on the link, and it's really great practice for and getting familiar with and overcoming this mystery about what x is. X is just any value. This is just a way of saying it can be any value. So let's see. The first one you throw tells you which level you're working on. So we're working on level 6 for this, and the second one you throw tells you what value we're replacing for x. So this is 3 times 7 is 21 plus 5, that's 26. Yes, it's 2 divided by 26, which is 1 divided by 13. Oh my goodness, where on earth is that in this chart? There isn't a level 13 with 13 fractions, so where on earth is it going to be? So you've got to work it out. And that is so, but to me, in my world, that's really cool. And it's 1/13. That's another interesting point. Where are all these fractions going to be, no matter what's going to happen to these fractions as x gets bigger? Well, x is 3 on this one. So 1/13. Well, that's 1/6. So we can imagine 1/12 is going to be about halfway along going backwards, and 1/6. And 1/13 is just going to be a little bit less than that. So it's going to be about there. Let's see the other person. So this is along that line there. Let's see the other person. The first one is 5. So we're on level 5, and the actual number is 2. So let's put that there. So that's 2 times 8, 16 plus 7. 16 plus 7, 23. 3 divided by 23. Well, can we even simplify that? Is it possible to simplify? We've got 2 prime numbers, can't simplify it. Where would it be? So 1/23, that's a 6th, that's a 12th. So we'll just hold that thought there for a moment. That'd be half of that would be 1/24 approximately. So 1/24 would be about where the 7 is. We'll just put that there. So that's 1/24 ish. So it'd be 2. Where did I get 3 from? Oh, this one down here. 3/24 would be 1, 2, 3 approximately. So it'd be approximately here. Now that's quite I have to think about that. I think that's a really good activity for a secondary level learner. And having to estimate where, without using a calculator, having to estimate where that fraction lies on the line and who is the winner of that dice roll. I think that's a really great game. And let's see what else we've got here. Well, there's lots of questions to go with it. You're not left on your own. This can be done at home. There's lots of suggestions and questions. So, for example, it asks you to look for where the equivalent fractions are. It asks you how many purple and dark green bits give an answer to half plus 10 over 12 plus 3/8. So you're adding fractions, but you're doing it. I'm going to show you this. I'm just going to put this under the camera so you can see it. So this one is using this fraction wall, and yeah, I didn't succeed in silencing it, did I? So if you'd actually progress through it, it leads to that question. So you go through all these things, write down all the fractions that you see from the wall that are equivalent to these, write down them all, and then explain explain how you work out whether two fractions are equivalent, and then how many 24ths are equivalent to the white bits and the blue bits, which are equivalent, and then doing this addition. Now this addition becomes a lot simpler when you've worked it all out through the fraction wall. It makes it a much easier proposition. So, and now I'm just going to do one last thing. This is actually, well, this first bit is fractions. I'm just going to show you that I've got this chappy here. I've got a 4 by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of chocolate by 8 blocks of chocolate, 8 pieces of chocolate, and I've cut one up so that I've got lots of fractions. I can divide it into different fractions, and we can actually see how many bits of chocolate different people get depending on how it's split up. But then I've also got this. So this is a bit of fun that I like to end this session with. And what we've got is we've got the same chocolate bar. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. So that makes how many? Whoops, turn it around a bit. How many pieces of chocolate? 4 by 8. 32 pieces of chocolate. Num, num, num. Okay, but I want this piece of chocolate. And yet I've still got to give out 32 pieces of chocolate. So how am I going to succeed in doing that? Well, all I have to do is slide this piece up. What this is cut is just cut right across from one corner all the way to the other corner of one of the one of the columns of chocolate. Slide this up here, put this down. Whoopsie, wrong way. Slide that down there and place this here. And let me see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of chocolate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns of chocolate. So we've still got 32 pieces of chocolate, and I've got my piece that I can have with my tea. Yum, yum. Okay, that is, in a nutshell, a quick version of the global maths and science lesson. Let's get the virtual background back on so you can see it's our global maths and science lesson. And it's all about learning maths through games. There are dozens of games on the reference. If you register for register to be a participant, you will receive the link. The link is actually in the description as well to all the activities. So there's just loads and loads and loads of games, and please do enjoy your maths by playing games, and everything that we do here in the G10, the Global Teacher Empowerment Network, and all the activities are all designed to be engaging, fun, and edifying, which means that you will learn. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do join, if you do sign up, then what you do is you register. I see you registered, Ziggy, that's awesome. And then send us a picture of you doing the activity, just of the activity itself, and submit your actual numbers, and then we will send you a certificate of participation. So if you can do that, Ziggy, just we'll send you a link later with the second form to fill in, and that will automatically trigger an email to send you your certificate of participation. So thank you so much for joining. We do this every year, so please do join us every year. Everybody that has registered will receive a notification of next year's one. If you ever want to unsubscribe, just unsubscribe, and you won't get any more emails about it. But as long as you would like to hear about it every year, we will keep sending you the emails. Thank you so much. And I've got a comment. We've got a comment. I love comment. Oh, I've got a heart. Oh, I've got a heart. Yay. Yay for hearts. Heart right back to you. It doesn't tell me who you are because it's StreamYard. You have to give StreamYard permission to give your name. So I don't know who you are, but heart right back. Here we go. There you go. Heart right back. Take care. Thank you for joining me. And we'll be live again at some point again today.